Namaste. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. I'd like to welcome you to your planetary energy forecast for the week of August 15th, 2022. Now, this is a week to kind of move forward, to get some things accomplished. We are prepping for Mercury to move into the shadow zone at the end of the week and retrograde at the beginning of September. And there's a lot of energy this week that's really going to help you to propel forward. Some of it beneficial, some of it challenging, but none of it's really new energy, all right? So a lot of it is about wrapping up things that maybe even came all the way from lessons learned in 2021 related to that square that perfected 3 times over that year between Uranus and Taurus and Saturn and Aquarius. So it's really important for you to know where the Saturn is in your chart, where it's causing you to, build a firmer foundation, grow up, mature, do the work, right? And where it's in conflict with where Uranus is in your chart, where you want to rebel, where you want to break free, where you feel restricted or limited, where you need to embrace positive uses of technology and understand your unique gift and how you fit into the collective, right? And so these are the energies that are going to be amplified this week. So let's dive into the astrology. So we start on Monday, the 15th. We have Mercury in Virgo. It's going to blend beautifully with the North Node, which is still traveling right with Uranus at 18 degrees, 19 degrees of Taurus. And so this is, I'm thinking like ideas, solutions, Mercury in Virgo, right? Analytical, thinking about things, exploring ideas related to the Taurus area of your chart. And so begin to implement those decisions, right? Those solutions. The moon is going to come into contact with Jupiter, right? In Aries, right? So big feels, big emotions. So try to make sure that all that fire doesn't burn you out, right? Nothing rash. There's several things astrologically this week with the moon in Aries that are going to tend to want to amplify emotions and the desire to jump forward, all right? So, but use that discerning Mercury in Virgo to kind of see what the right solution is. And it's interesting, if you watch the tarot for this week, it's very much in tune with that theme, and I filmed that before I looked at the astrology for the week. All right. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the week, we are still dealing also with a beautiful flow of energy. Mars in Taurus is trining Pluto in Capricorn. So again, the solutions that are there, the ideas, but it's about implementation. It's about moving forward. All right, taking that inspired action. All right, on Tuesday, the 16th, the Aries moon is going to trine the sun in Leo. So that's really great. Mercury in Virgo, trining the Uranus in Taurus, right? Some of the same themes, but that moon in Aries is going to square over to the Pluto. All right, so again, if you encounter resistance as you're trying to move forward, make changes, adaptations, using that discerning Mercury in Virgo, if you butt up against something, don't just blast your way through it, right? There is a more creative solution. There is a better way to go about it. All right. Now keep in mind, the moon does void after it hits that Pluto, and that's in the evening on the 16th, 4:18 p.m. until 10:22 when the moon moves into Taurus. This gives a little less sticking power to things that happen that evening, so not that little range. And of course, that's East Coast time, but that little range is not a time to initiate. All right, then we have on the 17th, Taurus moon, square Venus in Leo. So that any kind of excess, especially wanting to buy things, right? This could be really a like, oh gosh, I gotta have that dress, or I want to do my hair, things like that, things that might take a lot of your resources. Be very cautious on that, nothing to excess. Then we have on the 18th, Venus in Leo trine the Jupiter in Aries. So that's a lovely flow, but again, an energy that could indicate excess. Or yeah, let's just go for it. Let's spend the money. So make sure that you're a little more cautious with your resources. Moon is going to come together with Uranus and North Node. So we've got Moon, big feels, Uranus, break free, North Node, karmic lessons, another amplifier. So the Taurus area of your chart, you might be really having strong emotions around security, your possessions, your finances, or wherever Taurus is for you. It's going to square the Saturn in Aquarius, which we're entering that engagement range where the Uranus is coming back into that square. But this might give you a little portent, a little idea of what you didn't resolve that was going on in 2021 that this square brought to your attention. So notice that. on that 19th, 18th, 19th. All right. Now we've got Mars on the 20th, moving into Gemini. So keep in mind, 18th, 19th, Mars is going to be at the very end of Taurus. So that push to completion, that drive to wrap something up in the Taurus area of your chart, and then it moves into Gemini. Distinct vibe change, right? Much more chatty, much more about ideas, and much more about trying to figure out which twin is going to show up, right? Is it going to be the warrior who wants to go, or the warrior who wants to, like, I don't know, sit in the back and like play cards with the guys, right? You really want to pay attention to the symbolism on this day, because Mars is going to be in Gemini until like mid-March, which is a really long time for Mars to stay in a sign. That is because Mars is going to retrograde. The other thing to pay attention to is on the 20th, Mercury enters that shadow zone at 24 degrees of Virgo, right across the sky from Neptune and Pisces. And that little opposition, because it's entering that shadow zone, you really want to pay attention to that Neptune-Mercury opposition. Now, this can bring inspiration, ideas. It can also bring delusion, confusion. So my teacher used to say, lie to anyone, that there are consequences for that, for sure, but don't ever lie to yourself, all right? There's much bigger consequences for that. So paying attention that you're parting the veils, seeing things clearly, from that point for several weeks is really important. All right, now we got on the 21st, that's Sunday. We have the Gemini moon conflicting with Virgo and Mercury, conflicting with Neptune and Pisces. So it could be like this really almost childish kind of emotional self, really in conflict with the mind, really in conflict with ideas and inspiration. So it's definitely a day that you need to stay grounded, make sure you're doing your reality checks. The energy could feel pretty erratic. I wrote in the blog, watch your mind and watch your mouth, because they're both going to be highly activated. But you will have a nice flow. That Gemini moon is going to flow nicely with the Saturn. So it might, if you're going to think of intuition versus logic on that day, I would probably go with intuition. Another thing to note on that Sunday is that Chiron moves back, right? Chiron is retrograde. It moves back to 15 degrees in the sign of Aries. And so if you have sensitive points at 15 degrees of any of the cardinal signs, you will want to pay attention to that movement. You've already experienced this energy earlier in the year, but here it comes again for the 1, 2, and eventually 3. Third time's a charm. So healing, anything going on in the Aries sector of your chart that has to do with how you don't feel whole will enter into a new phase of lessons at that 15-degree mark. All right. Well, I hope this was useful, helpful. It is. Please like, please comment. That helps the channel to grow. Share it with a friend. Check out the blog on the website. I'll have the tarot reading attached to this video. That is what you requested, and I appreciate it. If you'd prefer the tarot comes first in these weekly forecasts, let me know that as well in the comments. I appreciate your time, energy, and support. Namaste. Bye. Hi everyone, Namaste. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology, and I'd like to welcome you to the tarot spread for the planetary energy forecast. This is for the week of August 15th, 2022. There is a companion blog for this on the website, and of course there is the astrology reading as well. And this just fills in a little more information. This is a lotus spread that comes from followers of the goddess Isis. And it indicates 2 potential ways to approach the energy, 2 possible solutions or progressions. So I find it to be very useful, and I hope you do too. Comment below if you enjoy this video. So our first card is the basic influence. So what's happened in the past, what we've been dealing with. This is the 4 of Cups. This is a card that indicates we've been just kind of assuming everything's going to be okay. All right, we're kind of like, this is, I think of this card as being the la, 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 whatever. Oh yeah, magical things happen all the time. So there could be a potential here of taking certain things for granted. So that is the past. The card that indicates the present is the Chariot. And the Chariot is an indication that we are all ready, we have what we need, we're prepared, and we are not moving forward. And so it encourages us to seize the day, to begin to move forward. I think of this particularly because, Mercury is going to be heading into shadow this week, and retrogrades next month, at the beginning of the month. And so it might be that it's time to kind of light a fire. There's also a card of collaboration, right? She needs somebody to help her with this. She's ready, but she needs help. And so you may want to consider that as well in your world. All right, the present environment, the forces that we're dealing with. And this is the Six of Cups, which indicates things coming back from the past. This is a indicator of kind of childlike innocence and emotionality. So take note of that. All right. The beginning of how these influences are coming together, and we've got the Eight of Swords. So this is, we feel limited, we feel scared, we're nervous. It's not quite gotten to the point where we're, staying up at night. We're not Nine of Swords, not sleeping, but we're Eight of Swords. We're experiencing this sense of limitation, but truly it's only in our mind. And so we have to really reach up and pull off that blindfold and open our eyes to what the possibilities are. So your only limitations are your own mind. All right, and then this is the key card. And this is the core of what is coming. And oh goodness, we have that Nine of Swords. We have worry. So this is very much a card of needing to bring in wisdom to see the truth of things. This is creating problems in our own mind. This is thinking that we don't have the power to make changes, to have a life that we want. So this is really, our mind is really influencing the outcomes this week. All right, the opposing forces in play, Judgment, karma coming down, all right? And as you can see, there is some really big group karma happening in the world these days. So we have to be discerning. We have to make decisions. We have to make choices. And the opposite influence, we have the Five of Swords. I believe we had this last week as well. This is that kind of, moving forward. I have a quest. I know exactly what I want, and I'm just not looking to see the potential fallout, the consequences, the negative problems, how it might hurt others, how it might even in the long run hurt myself. All right, looks like a tricky week, guys. All right, near future, the key card is the Moon. This is an indicator that there is more going on than we are aware of. There are things happening behind the scenes, beneath the surface, that we can only catch a glimpse of. This suggests to us that we use our intuition, our inner knowing, clairsentience, clairaudience, all the clairs, all the ways that we tune into our angels, guides, and teachers to kind of see what's going on. There might be a lot of nuance. There might be a lot of sensitivity. This is definitely Cancer energy. All right, the modifiers for this particular card, the Moon. First, we have the King of Cups. So being large and in charge and healing. This is a very emotionally intelligent man. I feel like we got this last week too, which is really interesting. But really taking charge of our emotions and, this is an intuitive king. He taps in to his inner knowledge. He's not just using pure logic or brawn. He uses his emotions to understand things. All right, and then we have the Eight of Wands. So if we are, striving forward, going towards our goals, just going for it, things are going to change very rapidly. Now over here with the King of Cups, we've got the Ace of Cups. Wow, if we really do take charge and say, hey, I'm going to use my emotional intelligence, I'm going to use my discernment, right? Because judgment was part of this particular side of the spread. I'm going to be able to achieve what it is that that truly fills me up, that truly makes me happy. This is deep emotional happiness that starts from new beginnings, beginning again in a way that fills your cup. And then over here, paired with the Eight of Wands, we have the King of Swords. And so if we do move forward, and rapidly, without using judgment, just kind of trying to probably extricate ourselves from that Nine of Swords where we're just so emotional and so upset and so worried. And so we move in this specific direction without weighing out the odds. Things shift quickly, and then we have to really be logical. So I guess this is, in a lot of ways, we're choosing between being the King of Cups and using our intuition, or being the King of Swords and really moving forward with intellect. All right. And then we have our two possible solutions or progressions. And on the first side, we have the Queen of Wands, taking care of business, taking care of the home, taking action to secure a stable home life. The Eight of Pentacles. So if we take that Eight of Wands and King of Swords on this side of the spread, we're gonna be we're gonna figure out something that we really need to learn for our future. It's very future oriented. Over here with the Queen of Wands, the World card. Interesting. I feel like we're getting a lot of the same cards as we got last week. So, you know, moving from judgment, understanding the Moon, the King of Cups, the Ace of Cups, Queen of Wands, and now we have the World, assurance of success. All right, and over on the other side, we've got the Four of Swords. So this one originated with the Five of Swords, right? Striving forward, not paying attention to consequences. Having the Eight of Wands, something shifts quickly. King of Swords, right? Using that intellect. Eight of Pentacles, preparing for something for our future. And then this is Four of Swords, which means not now, okay? So a couple different ways to go about it, right? Boldly moving forward. Things are, you're gonna have to be really super adaptable, intellectual. You're gonna learn something that you'll apply later, or you can be really a little more discerning, realize maybe you don't have all the information, right? Because of this Moon card. Focus on emotional fulfillment, intuition, beginnings that relate to your emotions, and this will score you kind of a new emotional stability and open doors to the world. So, interesting spread for the week, friends. I hope you found this useful and helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.